We are now live on YouTube and on Twitch. And if anybody chats, I believe your message will show up. I will test that right now with a quick test message. And it is not working on YouTube once again. That's surprising. Oh well. We are back. So Joe Ryan is the pitcher today for the Twins. He had about 6 innings per start last year. The Cardinals have hit him very well in the past. Nootbaar has a home run against him. I believe Jordan Walker has a home run against him. And one other player. Here's Nootbaar, though. He's currently hitting .500 because of a great day yesterday. He was 2 for 4 with a homer. And just a hitter we really want to see for a full season. Here's the 0-1 to Nootbaar. Up and in, that's going to be a ball. 1-1. Joe Ryan delivers to Nootbaar. Low on a splitter. 2-1. Nootbaar's really seeing pitches well so far this year. Not chasing anything out of the zone. Making sure that it's a pitch he wants to hit. As the 2-1 is delivered from Ryan. Fouled back. It was a 4-seamer. Outside part of the zone. The Yankees have now taken a 12-3 lead over Milwaukee, over in New York. That is the only other game on outside of the White Sox and Angels. The 2-2 to Nootbaar was up and outside. He rockets it the other way for another hit. That's going to be the 3rd hit of the year for Nootbaar already. And he flaps his wings at the dugout for the 1st hit of the game. Just a great approach by Nootbaar. Lets the ball travel and just takes it the other way. Not trying to do too much. As a leadoff hitter, you get yourself on base. You're setting your team up for success. And that's what he did. And Wilson Contreras is at the plate. Here's the first pitch from Ryan. Low and outside. They're going to call it a ball. It was in the zone, but the catcher was set up inside, so it was one of those crossed up situations. And it is ball 1. 1-0. Up and in, that's going to be ball 2 on Contreras. Two and 0. Ryan delivers. Chip shot over to the right side of the field. It's going to work as a sacrifice bunt as Contreras grounds out to the right side of the field, and and Nootbaar moves to second base. Contreras still has no hits this season so far, but it is just the 2nd game. We are sure he will find it soon. That'll bring up Brendan Donovan. With Nootbaar on second, Ryan settling down. Takes a look at Nootbaar at second, turns back around and delivers. It was a sweeper into the outside part of the zone for a strike. Donovan hits a fly ball to left field. Easy play, and it is made by Larnach. And here comes Nolan Arenado. Yesterday, Arenado hit a huge home run. And pitch 1 to Arenado is outside, 1-0. Strike on the outside corner with a fastball, 1-1. Arenado's a guy you really want to see heat up this season. He was great a couple seasons ago. Well, 3 seasons ago at this point. And then he fell off a little bit, but he was still above average last season. Another fastball in the inside corner to Nolan Arenado, 1-2. Nootbaar on second, 2 away. The 1-2 to Nolan Arenado. He's an outside sweeper. He goes out and gets it, lofts it over the center of the lofts it between second. Oh my God. Drove in the run. 1-0 St. Louis. Great hit by Arenado. Didn't try to do too much. Just reached out and drove it over the middle of the field, is what I was trying to say. Between second base and shortstop, right past the pitcher. 1-0 St. Louis. What is happening? So the Cardinals already have an early lead in back-to-back games now. 1-0. Runner on first for Alec Burleson. The runner is Arenado, and he delivers with a fastball right down the middle. 1-1. Joe Ryan is on the mound. He has had very little success against the Cardinals, and it is not changing so far today. As here is the 1-1 to Burleson. He leaves it in the zone. 94 right over the center of the plate, and Burleson takes it for strike 2. 1-2 on Burleson. He went 1 for 4 yesterday and is looking to continue that early season hit streak, but here's a pop-up to short. Easy play for Correa, and he makes the catch. So Cardinals strike first for 1 on an Arenado single. That was just a good piece of hitting. Neither player trying to do too much. Scrape together a run, and they already lead 1-0. And during this commercial break, let's go ahead and see if I can name some players from the Twins. So, all the opening lineups for the Twins, I'm going to go ahead and assume Mauer. 14 seasons of Mauer. I can think of more now. Trevor Plouffe. So there's a few guys. I think they had... There is a center fielder. Well, Torrey Hunter for sure. There's a lot of Hunter. In recent years, I know they had Vasquez in 23. I mean, we can get this season's lineup for sure. It's crazy that this is already the 4th season that Correa is in Minnesota. Feels like he just signed there. Bader, Buxton. Ooh, Buxton's been there since 2016, so this is going to be his 10th straight season. Only 2020 did he not start on opening day. All right, we'll take a break from that and get back to the game. And we are entering the top of the second. Still 1-0 St. Louis as Fedde returns to the mound. And he will be facing Larnach, who has been good so far. He went 2 for 3 yesterday. And he's been good against Gray, but pretty average against Fetty. Fetty was a member of the White Sox last season. He was traded at the deadline to the Cardinals, and he was a quality pitcher last year. So the Cardinals can hope that him and Gray can form a really solid start to the rotation for the entirety of the season. As Larnach fouls off strike 2, it is 0-2 on Larnach. Arenado 2025 MVP? I don't know. I hope so. I feel like you'd almost rather it be like Nootbaar, just truly stepping up and becoming the superstar that we need on this team right now. As Larnach drives one to the opposite field for a base hit, it's going to be a single. So Larnach stays hot. He is the 4-hitter of the Twins now, and he might stay there for a while if he keeps hitting like this. Hitting .750 this season, albeit it's just 3 for 4. So Fetty delivers. Fetty is working with his first base runner this year. So here's Ty France, who hits a fly ball foul, out of play, 0-1. So this is going to be the first time Fetty deals with some adversity as he misses inside, 1-1. Ty France, always known for hitting well with runners in scoring position, but last season he didn't quite do it like he did with the Mariners. He hit only .234 with a .670 OPS last year, 13 home runs. Here's the 1-1. It's a strike as Herrera is unable to get Larnach as he steals second. The Cardinals want a review. I wonder if they will challenge this. I probably wouldn't. It looked like the foot got to the bag first, but let's take a look. Ooh, I'm not sure. Okay, here's the replay. Donovan reaches through. I can't tell from that angle. The hand might be in. It's the hand that touched first. Does Donovan tag before the hand gets there? I can't tell because the umpire's in the way of that camera frame. Here we go. It looks like he might be out, because he slid with his feet outside of the bag and tried to touch it with his hand, which made him way later than he could have been if he just slid directly into the bag. Cardinals could be getting fortunate with this challenge. But there's no real clear camera angle. We'll see. Donovan is able to tag. I'm not sure. I think it's probably going to stand as safe. Still waiting on that safe or out call. If you ask me what I think probably happened, I think he was probably out. But do I think there's a camera angle that tells us that? I don't think there is. Because the umpire's standing right in the way of it, so you would assume he would have been able to make the right call. Here's a third angle. The ump's foot is in the way. There's just no way for us to know as fans. So I expect the call to stand with a safe call, but we will see. The call did stand. Cardinals will lose their challenge, and Larnach is safe. So we move forward. It is 1-2 on Ty France with a runner on second, nobody out. So the Twins are threatening to tie the game. And we have an outside sweeper. So 2-2. I'm going to change the setting. In a minute. Here's the 2-2 to tie France. Ground ball to the right side. Donovan will make the play. But it moves the runner over to third. It's kind of the extra inning approach. Just hit it to the right side. Get the runner over, and then you hope that a sac fly could drive him in if you're a Twins fan. Obviously, Cardinals fans are hoping we get a ground ball here. A very fast ground ball right at somebody. Stepping up to the plate is Gasper for his first plate appearance of the season. Runner on third. High fly ball in the infield. This will not drive in the run, and Mason Wynn makes a basket catch over his shoulder as he almost slipped up there, but he tracked it down, and 2 away with a runner on third. It just kept drifting further out. I don't think Wynn expected to need to go out as far as he did, and that's why he had to catch it over his shoulder, but no harm, no foul. Runner on third, 2 outs for Willie Castro. First pitch is too high. It was a cutter above the zone. 1-0. So if Castro cannot deliver here, then Fetty will get out of a runner on second, nobody out situation. So maybe that's justice for Herrera, potentially. Strike on the inside corner. And here's the 1-1. It is a ball, a little bit high on that cutter. 2-1. Last year, Castro was a little below league average with runners in scoring position. 23 RBIs in those situations. And he pulls one down the line. It is fair, and that is going to tie the game at 1. Castro might even have a triple here as he sprints around second. Okay, so they held him up at second, and it is 1-1 with 2 away here in the second. He went all the way to the wall down the line, so I was thinking potentially he could have a triple, but looks like Walker was playing deep enough that he could make a nice throw in and prevent that. So Castro's on second, 2 outs here in the top of the second, and a 1-1 ball game. And Jose Miranda steps to the plate. First pitch to Miranda is a beautiful sinker right on the outside part of the corner. Outside corner, 0-1. Excuse me. Could not mute my mic in time. As there's a fly ball to left field, and Newbar makes an incredible sliding catch for the third out of the inning. Still 1-1. Newbar has been a superstar so far in these first 2 games, and he keeps it up right now. With his tongue out as usual, makes a sliding play. 1-1. The Twins were able to tie it this half inning, but here come the Cardinals. Due up are Ivan Herrera, Jordan Walker, and Victor Scott. Newt. I love it. I would also love to see if I can get this. Well, okay. Get this chat working. But the tool I'm using, I thought I had it fixed, but guess not for today. So I'll just have to manually continue to check the YouTube chat. But I see you, Zach. I appreciate the fact that you're here. Newt Bar making plays. Herrera's an exciting catcher. I mean, he was able to make a pretty good throw there. Just a little bit late because it was a very slow pitch to the plate. So you have to assume on a fastball Herrera is going to be able to gun guys down, which is very important. The difference in 2023 with Contreras behind the plate versus what Yadi had been doing was night and day. And it was the first time the Cardinals had given up stolen bases in decades. So that's one of the things that people did not properly account for when it came to Yadi. When you can gun down everybody, that is just an absolute lifesaver. The WAR value of all of those bases that we did not allow by having Yadi behind the plate is enough to put him in the Hall of Fame without a doubt. I would hope. I hope people recognize the difference he made. But okay, here's Nootbaar. You can probably see the bottom of that highlight. In case you can't watch it, but I'm hoping people are watching the game along with me here. And here comes Ivan Herrera. Bottom of the second begins. Joe Ryan to Ivan Herrera, and it is an outside four-seam for a strike. Barely on the outside part of the plate there. Herrera went 2 for 3 yesterday, and he's looking to continue that. Here's the 0-1. A little high, but it's called a strike because of a nice frame job by Vasquez. It's kind of why you play Vasquez as a catcher. I mean, he can also hit, but he's become really good at framing, which he initially probably wasn't back when he was with Boston. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3. Got him on the outside corner. That was just a perfect at-bat for Ryan. Nothing Herrera could really do anything with. Right on the corner each time. Sometimes that just happens. You're a big league hitter and the pitching just dots you up. Is what it is. Here comes Jordan Walker, who has had success against Ryan in his career. As here's the first pitch to Walker, up and in, and it hits him in the hand. Hopefully he's okay. He drops the bat. He's shaking it off. Looks like he's going to be all right. Ryan is trying to say that he swung. I would assume they're not going to be saying that. And Walker will walk to first base. Victor Scott will be coming up next, but we have to take a look and see if he swung. So he definitely did not swing. Definitely checked his swing, pulled back, and the ball did hit him right in the bottom of the hand. It is his right hand, so it's a very important part of the body for Walker. It is his guiding hand while swinging, so hopefully that is okay. It's also his throwing hand. It sounds like he's fine. He's shaking his head to the first base coach. But it definitely stings when a ball will get you like that. Yep, all right. He's put the sliding glove on, and he is settled in at first. So, up to the plate is Victor Scott. Had a great spring, and still is yet to reach first base this season. So, here's an opportunity for that. Up and outside, called strike 1, looked to be outside. See if Scott can carry over some of that momentum from the spring into the season here in game 2. The 0-1 with 1 away and 1 on first. He is fouled back. A splitter. Ryan is really dotting up the outside of the plate right now, so he looks a lot better than he did last season against the Cardinals. As he turns for the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. Missed far away there. If you're going to have a non-competitive pitch like that, the 0-2 is the best time to do it, so it makes sense that he was being safe with it. Not trying to give up anything with 2 strikes. As here's the 1-2. Nope. He turns and tries to pick off Walker. Looks like they're probably just checking on him. Making sure his hand can still touch the base, I guess, after the injury. Well, I guess it's probably not an injury. All right, Scott settles back in. The 1-2 from Ryan. Outside. And they call it strike 3. That was outside. You have to argue with that one, but nobody is complaining. Scott is just taking it, so the Cardinals better expect to get some outside edges as well here today. Not even a great frame there by Vasquez. He just stuck it, and it was outside. So a fortunate strikeout for Joe Ryan, as Walker is still on first base with 2 outs for now. Mason Wynn. Wynn takes strike 1 at the top of the zone. That was definitely a strike, so at least they found the zone on that one. They go outside and they give him another strike. That was close. It was a strike, but just know that the strike zone has been very, very wide today. And it is 0-2 on Wynn. Last season he was excellent with 2 strikes, but you still never want to be down 0-2. And he gets him on a high fastball that Wynn probably felt like he had to swing at because of the ump. So there you go. Strike 3 on Mason Wynn. 1-1. See if I can return to this lineup quiz by the 2010s Twins. Well, it's 2010s and like all the way since 1996, so the last 30 years. There's definitely more guys that I can think of. Let's see, Twins catchers. So yesterday, who caught? I don't even know. Oh, they have pitchers on here. So Sonny Gray is going to be. Ooh, they didn't. He wasn't ever their guy, huh? Well, we can just. I mean, I don't want to just do this year. Like in 2012. I guess I'm just not a big Twins guy, but maybe someone can help me out in the chat. Is Delman Young a name? It is. Okay, there you go. Left field. Obviously, Lopez was the starter yesterday. I didn't want to go straight to yesterday's lineup, but all right, the game is back, so we'll come back to that. It's just a fun thing to look at during the commercial breaks. All right. What happened here? It is 2-1 on Vasquez. And we are back. Betty to Vasquez. Ground ball to the right side of the field. Donovan makes the play. And 1 away. So it'll bring back the top of the order with Wallner. Wallner still looking for his first hit of the season. Actually, all 3 are still looking for the first hit of the season. Wallner, Correa, and Buxton. And Fetty delivers. Ground ball off of Fetty's foot. He picks it up, throws it to first, and it's wide. And it looks like that's going to injure somebody. Contreras collided with Wallner at first base. They'll probably give him an infield. Well, they might give him an error. And another look at a Cardinals right-handed hitter. Tough collision there by Contreras and Wallner. So Fedde had a ball hit off his ankle, missed the throw to first, and Contreras has no experience playing first base, obviously, so didn't know to just let that one go. Collision with his hand there at first base. And Wallner had to take his glove off there. So that'll be an error on Fedde, I imagine. Looks like Contreras and Wallner are both okay, so that is very fortunate. And Fedde looks to be okay as well. So we will continue. Wallner with an infield error. I guess they're going to call a ground out with an error there. And he reached. So here comes Carlos Correa. First three hitters for the Twins still have no hits. And Fedde misses low. On his 34th pitch here in the third inning, Fedde delivers to Correa. The 1-0, ground ball to short. Amazing diving stop by Mason Wynn, flips it to Donovan, and it's a double play, and the Cardinals are out of the top of the third. Incredible. This is the defense Cardinals fans have come to love from Mason Wynn, and he continues to put on a show each and every game. Correa still 0 on the season. Just incredible stuff. Yep, Kepler. Wait, do I still have that on right now on the stream? No, I'm good. Okay. I mean, we could just rattle off. There's Max Kepler in right field. We go to yesterday's team. Obviously, they had Ty France. Wow, Kepler's been on that team for a long time, since 2019. Did they start with Lewis last season? Royce Lewis at third base, yep. Any more names here? Not quite. Let's see. I know Miranda. Did Miranda play a couple seasons ago? I mean, I know he's on the lineup right now. But there's that. Let's see if I can get another poll from back then. Oh, no, the game is back, so we'll come back to that. Back to the game. Here we go. It's going to be Lars Nootbaar once again. Stepping in. Took strike one and strike two as I became live once again. So it is 0-2 on Nootbaar. I don't like to stream with the game being behind, so I'm just getting the live feed. Nootbaar's been fantastic this season. And I really believe he's the best. He has the best chance of anybody to step up as he gets hit by an inside sweeper, and that's going to be a free base runner for the Cardinals on an 0-2 count. And Newtbar looks to be perfectly fine. It hit off of his shin guard. Let's see, just to make sure. Oh, no, it was the backside shin, so there was no guard. So that might have hurt a little bit. But he's doing all right. And he's on first base, so he leads off. Contreras still looking for his first hit of the year. Now with Newtbar on first. He delivers and throws a splitter on the first pitch to get Contreras chasing. So 0-1. That was a very savvy pitch by Ryan. Knew Contreras was still looking to swing the bat. That first hit is always a weight off your shoulders, so I hope Contreras can go ahead and get his first one. And they throw a high sinker, and they do not get the call for the first time this game. It feels like. And it is 1-1. They're shifting Contreras to pull, so if he can just go the other way, it's a very wide open infield. Here's the 1-1. It's going to be a ball low, 2-1. Tried to get him chasing on the splitter again, but Contreras saw it out of the hand that time. Pitch number 36 in the game for Ryan is a fly ball to right field. Might get out of play, and it does. It drops. Wallner is unable to get there. 2-2. Donaldson was on the Twins. In case anyone was wondering. Here's the 2-2. Oh yeah, Nelson Cruz is a guy I can think of from back then as well. A high four seam there above the zone. 3-2 on Contreras, and he's going to call timeout. Take a step back, settle himself down. You wonder if they think about trying to run Newtbar here, put on a hit and run, and then if the ball's outside, Contreras can just take the pitch. 2-strike hit and run is a risky game to play, of course, because swing and a miss could cause a strikeout, throw him out, but they're going to hold Newtbar. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Thank goodness they did not try a hit and run. Inside fastball, got Contreras, and there's one out with one on. Contreras peeled the handle off of his bat and started chewing on it during that at-bat. So it's an interesting replay that I was just shown. As Donovan steps to the plate with a runner on and one out. Ooh, a four-seamer sneaks back over the plate for strike one on Donovan. Looked more like a sinker. I wonder how they're detecting these. It's just a four-seamer with arm side run, it appears. Could also just be the camera angle. The 0-1 to Donovan. Low. And they call it a ball. It could have been called a strike, so that's just interesting. It's just inconsistent so far this game. It's a wide zone, and it's been a thin zone as far as up and down goes. So Donovan reaches out and pulls one up the middle as it gets through, and they're going to hold Newtbar at second. First and second, one out. So Donovan continues his hot streak to start the year, still hitting 500. It's really strange seeing Contreras unable to find it while the rest of this lineup is just hitting on all cylinders. First and second for Nolan Arenado. He used to be the guy you always wanted up in this situation, and so far this season he has been. So you would love to see some more of that. RBI single already today in the first inning. And the first pitch is high. Looks like Ryan's trying to be careful with Arenado. Arenado is 3 for 5 so far this season with a home run. Here's the 1-0 to Arenado. Another pitch too high, and it is 2-0. Dangerous game to fall behind in the count right here with Burleson on deck. So Arenado is amongst the league leaders. Well, here's the 2-0 first. Swings right through a sinker, 2-1. He's among the league leaders in bat speed increase from 2024 to spring 2025. So he has changed his approach to speed it up a little bit, and that has made a great difference for him so far. You hope he can keep it up. Here's the 2-1. Inside, almost hit him, knocks him down. There's a famous call from a Cardinals broadcast against the Rockies a few years ago with Danny Mac, where can't remember exactly who hit the home run, but he called it "knock me down." Hello. It was a classic home run call. Some say it's the worst of all time, but I thought it was situationally aware. So here's the 3-1, and it's fouled back by Arenado. Full count. First and second, full count on Arenado. He is 1 for 1 today. Nootbaar on second, Donovan on first. They take their lead, and the pitch comes, and it is a fly ball to right field. Easy play for Wallner. Wait, not Wallner. That is Wallner, right? It is Wallner. Okay. And there are 2 outs now as Burleson steps in. Yep. Knock me down, there you go, and then take a shot. Yep, that's everybody's favorite call. First and second, 2 outs. Here's Burleson. Fly ball to center field. Looks playable for Buxton, and it is. He makes the catch, and the Twins get out of a jam started by Nootbaar's hit by pitch there. And it is 1-1 after 3. So let's get over here. Hop on to the trivia here. So during that inning, I thought of Nelson Cruz, and I thought of Donaldson with Zach's help. Donaldson played third in 2020 and 2021. Looks like there's still a player from yesterday's team that we have not gotten that also is playing today. So who would that be? Oh yeah, it was the guy who played for the Tigers. It was Willie Castro, who has actually been on the team for 2 years now. So he was on the Tigers just a few seasons ago. So who was their first baseman last year? Yeah, I'm just can't even think of anybody. Is the game back yet? No. All right. Yep, you can see that I know very little about the Twins. I remember, the stars, Mauer, Morneau. Oh yeah, Jim Thome was a huge name. And he did not play for the Twins. He must have been in Cleveland. He was in Cleveland. Obviously, I'm sure there's a star pitcher I'm not thinking of. Why is in 2021 they must have been playing in an NL stadium? Because it lists no DH. So that's really interesting. Oh, yes, I know. It's Sanoing. I used to see those memes every time he hit a home run. Oh, yeah, he played for them forever. All right, I'm sure the game's back, so we'll come back. And the game is back, so perfect. It is 1-0, 1-1 on Buxton, who is still looking for his first hit. And the pitch is delivered from Fetty. Here it is. In the zone for strike 2. Right down the middle with a sinker. And Buxton is down in the count here. 1-2. Misses outside with a changeup. They've adjusted the count to 2-1. I wonder if it's 2-2 or 2-1. Sometimes these graphics are not correct, but I believe it is. Well, I didn't see the at-bat, so I didn't see the first pitch of the at-bat, so I can't tell you. But here's the 2-1 or 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he did strike out, so terrible graphic there. But he is gone. Fetty gets a strikeout. And the top 3 in the Twins order are still hitless. Midway through the second game of the season, so not a great start for them. But this game is still tied. Milwaukee is now down by 10 runs, 16-6 in New York. I just wonder what is going on over there, so might have to double check. The 0-1 to Larnach is low, 1-1. I wonder if Goldschmidt, former Cardinal, is doing anything over there. Top of the 4th, pitch right down the middle. Larnach cannot get to it. 1-2 count here. Here's the 1-2 to Larnach, and it is low, 2-2. Fetty has thrown 43 pitches. That's about on par with what you'd expect for a very good game from Fetty. Especially if he can get out of this inning within the next few. But it's a very important pitch to Larnach here, the 2-2. Ground ball. A play that can be made by Donovan. He flips it to Fetty, makes the play. 2 away in the top of the 4th. Fetty making the right move, running to the right side and covering the bag, as Contreras was not there. Garrett Cole made that mistake last year in the World Series and did not cover first, and that cost the Yankees probably, well, I think that ended up being the big inning for the Dodgers, so cost them a chance to fight back in the series. As this game is still 1-1 here in the top of the 4th, as Fetty delivers strike 1 to tie France. That looked to be outside, and for the first time today, the Cardinals get a call. So the ump is staying consistent with the wide zone as France hits a fly ball foul, 0-2. The 0-2, way outside against France. Another non-competitive 0-2 pitch, this time from Fetty. Tough to find the zone there. When you're trying to be super safe with the hitter, sometimes you just pull it, and there's no way to adjust. Here is the 1-2. And it's an easy ground ball to Fetty. He could probably take it himself, but he just softly flips it to Contreras for the third out. And we are midway through the fourth, still 1-1. Should I get back to the game? Probably not. Not for a little while. Yeah, guessing players is not the thing that is my specialty. I do a lot more of looking at strategy during the game and looking at numbers. So I might not remember every player and where they played each year, but I do remember the players once I see the name and what they were good at in what situation. Due up for the Cardinals next inning, we have Ivan Herrera, Jordan Walker, and Victor Scott. So that will be 6, 7, 8. So if they go down in order, you'd have Win and then the top of the order in the following inning. And the game is back. So here we go. Just taking a look around the stadium as Herrera steps to the plate. 1-1 game here in the fourth. First pitch to Herrera is right in there for strike one on a 91-mile-an-hour four-seam. And they settle in for the second pitch. 0-1, too high. 1-1. Ivan Herrera takes ball 2, 2-1. The 2-1 to Herrera is a fastball right down the middle, 2-2. Herrera still hitting 500 so far this season. He was 2 for 3 yesterday. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. As he strikes out again on a splitter. He swung at it like it would be a slider. But it did not break left, it just broke down. And that got him. As Jordan Walker makes his way to the plate. During the break, I'm going to have to check out what is going on in New York. And Baltimore is also up 2-0 at the start of their game, as Ryan misses up and in with a fastball. Oh, they call it strike one. I don't know if that was a called strike, but I guess so. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Walker. Seems a little unfortunate so far, but hopefully he can crawl back into this at-bat. Ryan delivers the 0-2. It is in there for... See, okay. They were wrong about the 0-1 count. It was a 1-0 count to start the game, start the at-bat, and it is now 1-2. So, Bally Sports graphic. Well, not even Bally anymore, FanDuel. Hopefully they can get someone who can see the pitches better. All right, 1 and 2 to Walker. We have a ground ball to the opposite field for a base hit for Walker. So that's another hit for Walker. Keeping up that 500 average so far on the year. A lot of great hitting so far in this Cardinals lineup. But so far this season, Victor Scott and Mason Wynn are hitless, along with Wilson Contreras. So 3 of the next 4 hitters are hitless, so hopefully we can see their first hits of the season. Scott comes up with a runner on first base and 1 away. Joe Ryan delivers up and in to Scott for ball 1. Turns and delivers. Foul ball. 1-1. Scott digs back in. Here's a pickoff attempt at Jordan Walker, who gets tagged out at second. Easily picked off. I don't know why this keeps happening. But there's the second out, and it erases a wonderful single by Jordan Walker. You wonder if the Cardinals just are trying to get Wynn, Nootbaar, Contreras, Donovan next inning. So they figure you either set yourself up with a better chance to score on Victor Scott and Wynn, hitting one of the 2 hitting a single here on a stolen base, or you have a tagged out runner. So if you just attempt to steal in a regular situation, that makes sense here. It doesn't make sense to let yourself get picked off in any situation. But I assume that was not what they were trying to do. They were trying to give Walker a tell to go on, and it did not work. So it is 2-1 now, with nobody on and 2 outs for Victor Scott. As Ryan delivers, and it's right in there for strike 2. Here's the 2-2 to Scott. It is low and outside, full count. Three and 2 to Victor Scott. Up and away, fouled back. The 3-2 is right down the middle. Scott's going to pull it foul, just barely. Scott fouls off another. Still a full count. Vasquez is meeting with Joe Ryan on the mound here. Ryan's about to make his 66th pitch here in the bottom of the 4th. Ryan doing some stretching as he steps back onto the mound here in the bottom of the fourth. Full count on Victor Scott. Fouled back. Still a full count on Victor Scott. So making Ryan work for this at bat. Potentially setting up Mason Wynn. And using the same strategy as earlier, if Scott can reach, you think maybe they try to steal with him. But here's the full count, and it is smoked up the middle for the first hit of the season for Victor Scott. He finally gets on base, continues that momentum from spring, does a little birdie to the dugout there, little celebration, and he is on base. He's now 1 for 7 on the year, I believe. Might be 6. Probably 1 for 6 on the season. Yeah, 1 for 6 on the year. And they check on him at first base as Mason Wynn digs in. Turning around to face Wynn. Ryan still looking at... Okay, here we go. And they do send Scott, who easily steals second base. A great start to his season. That's what I was thinking. I think the Cardinals are using lineup strategy to determine when they try to steal bases. They figure if they can keep Nootbaar, Contreras, Donovan all hitting in the same inning, that'll be the best strategy. And then you give the singles hitters, Scott and Wynn, a chance to drive in runs on their singles by stealing bases with Walker and Scott. So that's a really, really cool strategy by the Cardinals that I expect them to continue every time Victor Scott gets on base because he's fast. There's no reason not to send him to second base. It's really, really hard to prevent him from stealing. The 1-1 to win is low and outside, 2-1. Wynn fouls one back there, 2-2. The 2-2 to Mason Wynn is high, and he pops it foul, out of play. Stepping back in. Still 2-2 on Wynn. Ryan will continue to look at Scott and finally deliver. And it is a hanging slider, but Wynn just gets under it. And he will leave Scott on second base, and the top of the order will be due up next inning. Still 1-1 through 4 in St. Louis. I am checking YouTube chat, if you are wondering. It's just not going to show up on the stream overlay because I'm still figuring that out. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in New York. The Yankees scored 4 in the first, 3 in the second, 6 in the third, 3 in the fourth for 16 runs so far in the game. 4 first-inning home runs off of Nestor Cortes. It was Goldschmidt, Bellinger, Judge, and Wells. Oh my goodness. So they know Nestor about as well as anybody, and they were not going to let him beat them. As we are back here, Gasper takes strike 1 on a cutter from Fetty. And then a changeup misses for 1-1, and we are live again. Here's the 1-1 to Gasper. Low and outside on a sinker, 2-1. If Fetty can become this type of pitcher every game, the Cardinals will be scary. Here's the 2-1 is pulled foul, 2-2. 1 run on 2 hits for the Twins. 1 run on 5 hits for the Cardinals, but they have an error, which allowed that 1 run for the Twins to reach base. The 2-2 is another foul ball. Fetty has only allowed 1 unearned run on 2 hits today. The 2-2 to Gasper is another foul ball off of Gasper's leg. As the Yankees have now scored 2 more runs, it is 18-6 in New York. Milwaukee did not come prepared to face that lineup. Here is Fetty delivering the 2-2. It is up in the zone, an easy fly ball. Walker comes down and makes the catch. 2-1 to make the first out of the inning. 1 away. Fetty is through 4 1/3 with 55 pitches thrown. If he can continue on this pace this season, then the Cardinals will have a great 1-2. And then you have Palante in the 3, who can be a solid starter for you as well. And the lineup is very, very deep. You like what you're seeing, but the Cardinals really do need to scrap together some runs in this one. Castro is up. 1-0 on Willie Castro. He is 2 for 4 on the year. 2 of the RBIs because of the RBI double earlier today. And here's a pulled rocket right at Brendan Donovan, who makes the play for the second out of the top of the 5th. Jose Miranda steps to the plate. 2 outs, nobody on for Miranda. He has 1 hit this season. And a sinker misses outside. The 1-0 is up and in. 2-0. Here in the top of the 5th, Miranda could probably just keep taking pitches, and he takes strike 1 right there, 2-1. Fetty locks in and loads, and it's an easy fly ball, out of play foul. It was a hanging, looks like a sweeper or a slider there. Very, very hittable pitch, but Miranda was early and did not get much of it. So it is now 2-2 on Jose Miranda. reaches out and pokes one to Wilson Contreras, who makes a diving stop at first, easily takes it to first, and there's the third out of the inning. Contreras throws the ball into the crowd, and we go to the bottom of the fifth. Due up our Nootbaar, Contreras, Donovan. It's the top of the order, and you love to see that because they are performing so far outside of Contreras. Let's take a look at what has happened so far in Toronto. Game is 2-2. Both runs scored in the first inning. Looks like a solo home run for Colton Cowser and a solo home run for Jordan Westberg for the Orioles, and a hit for Bichette, a hit for Guerrero, and Santander drove both of them in. Nope, Santander just got a single, drove in one of them. And then Kirk was able to drive in one of them on a sac fly. So that's the game so far over in Toronto. Nootbaar steps up to the plate. Lars Nootbaar is hitting .600. He's 3 for 5 so far this season with a homer. Also made a great defensive play in left field, and they start him off with a four-seamer outside, and he fouled it back. So it's 0-1 on Nootbaar. Takes ball one on a slider low and in. 1-1. Takes another splitter low. 2-1. As he steps back in and Ryan delivers. Pulls one, but it is a play Castro can make. And he does for the first out of the bottom of the fifth. One away. Still 1-1. As Contreras is still looking for his first hit of the season. Steps up to the plate. He was run into earlier at first base. And he ripped his handle of his bat and chewed on it earlier as well. That is being shown by the broadcast as probably a joke. And here's the first pitch. It is inside for a strike. A little bit inside, but they called it. Can't argue with that. It's been a wide zone all day. Here's the 0-1. Up and in, fouled back, 0-2. You really don't like to see a guy get down in the count here so often, but he's also had a little bit of bad luck so far this season, so you expect him to find it soon. So here's the 0-2 to Contreras, and they leave it out over the zone. It was a sweeper, but he pulls it to third for the second out. So Contreras is still hitless, still hasn't reached base this season. As Donovan will step up to the plate with 2 away and nobody on base. leaves one out over the middle of the plate. Donovan takes a really good swing at it, and it goes back to the track, but Buxton makes a pretty nice jumping catch and makes the play. And the Cardinals go down in order in the fifth. Still 1-1 after 5. All right. All right, tomorrow, Andre Palante will be the starter, and the game is back. The 1-0 to Vasquez is in there for strike one. It's 1-1. Vasquez is the 9 hitter, and then those first 3 will come up for the Twins. Vasquez chases there. He went around. They call it strike 2. The 1-2 to Vasquez is a way outside sweeper. Almost had him thinking about swinging, but just way too far out there for him to chase. Last season, he only had a 575 OPS with a 221 average, but he is a catcher. As Fetty misses with a sinker way outside once again. The 3-2 pitch to Vasquez is swung on and lofted to right field from Jordan Walker, who will make the play. 1 away here in the top of the 6th. Fetty having a very nice outing for the first game of 2025 for him. And up steps Wallner at the top of the order. He's only reached on an error, and Correa and Buxton have not reached at all this season, which is something you could probably never say for the first however many at-bats it's been. 2 high, 1-1. The 1-1 is too high, 1-2. The 1-2 is a fly ball to left field. Scott will call off Nootbaar and make the play. 2 away here in the 6th. Nice job by Fetty, just getting there, get it in the zone there, and Correa will step up now. Still looking to reach base for the first time this season, as I've said a few times now. Former Houston Astro, known for pointing at his watch and yelling, "It's my time," after a huge homer. Also known for that cheating scandal, but it's been a while now, and he hits an easy fly ball to Lars Nootbaar. High in the air, and Nootbaar makes the play. Through 6 for the Twins. Still 1 run for them, as Arenado, Burleson, and Herrera are due up next inning for the Cardinals. Still 1-1, going to the bottom of the 6th. Okay, let me see something. I'm going to take a quick look here. I'm seeing if I can get this chat to work finally, but probably not. All right. We are back. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Jorge Alcala comes on to pitch for the Twins. Let's take a look. Last season he had a 3.24 ERA, 1.03 whip. That's very, very solid. Number 66 as a pitcher. Very interesting decision. I always wonder where people choose their numbers, but obviously there's a lot of guys on a baseball team. Here's the first pitch to Arenado. It is in there for strike 1. A little bit off the plate, but they gave it to him. Oh and 1 to Arenado, who is 1 for 2 here after a 2 for 4 day yesterday. Throws a slider right down the middle, and Arenado had to take it for strike 2 because I assume he was not looking for one. As here's the 0-2 to Arenado. And it's rocketed right off the pitcher. Correa tries to adjust, but it gets by him and sneaks into the outfield. Arenado's going to jog over to second base for an easy double. Well, okay, it's probably a single with an error, probably. But hit off the pitcher, high exit velo, and Arenado is at second base. Is Alcala okay? Looks like he's fine. He's trying to tell him he's okay, but he also rubbed his shoulder, so that might not be the truth. You wonder if they'll leave him in. I wouldn't leave him in. Looks like he's a little shaken up by this. Hit him right in the shoulder blade. There will be a runner on second for Burleson in the next at bat. We just don't know who this pitcher will be. If you look at what Correa did there, he tried to charge it, and the ball took a jump as he tried to grab it with his bare hand. And that's why it got by him, and Arenado was able to get that extra base out of this. So they gave him credit for a hit. Arenado is 2 for 3, but I assume they say he reached second on an error. But the Twins have not been credited with an error yet. Although I don't see how that couldn't be an error. There's no way you can call that a double. But they keep Alcala in as Burleson steps to the plate. So it looks like Alcala is doing okay. So that's fantastic to see. Burleson has stepped in, and we are back in action. Nobody out. First pitch to Burleson. High and away. 1-0. So Arenado on second base. Burleson, who's 0 for 2 today, at the plate with a chance to drive in a run and give the Cardinals the lead, or at least to move the runner over to third base. So here we go. It's low and outside. He did not go. 2-0. Over in New York, the Yankees now have 20 runs over Milwaukee. You would think if you score 6 runs like Milwaukee has done today, that you would win, but they're down by 14. Very interesting game. 26 total runs scored so far. Hope you didn't take the under. And it is 3-0 on Burleson. You think maybe he just takes this pitch, but wouldn't be a bad green light with the power Burleson has behind his bat. Here it is. He takes ball 4 up and away. So first and second now for Ivan Herrera. You wonder if they were pitching around Burleson to try to potentially set up a double play ball. Herrera's obviously not the speediest guy in the league as a catcher, but he's not super slow for a catcher. And the Twins will go out and visit Alcala here. I don't believe they're even allowed to pull him now unless they say he's out due to injury, because he's only faced 2 hitters. So he will have to pitch to Ivan Herrera, barring an injury exit. I don't know what the rule is where he gets injured on a previous play. I assume he can still come out because it's an injury for the safety of the player. But they are going to have to leave him in here because he appears ready to pitch. And so they will, and Herrera is walking up to the plate right now. Runners on first and second, nobody out for the catcher, Ivan Herrera. He's had a good year so far. It was just yesterday, but no problem. He's 0 for 2 today. Chases a curveball that bounced. 0-1, sorry. Playing Herrera to pull right now. They're trying to play him deep in at shortstop with the second baseman almost on second. And it is 0-2 on a foul tip. That wasn't quite a foul tip, but just a very, very light foul ball. Dribbler. He is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. 2 for 5 on the year. You really hope he can go ahead and just get a nice light ground ball to the right side of the field here, move the runners over. As Alcala misses low and away here, 1-2. Twins have 2 righties Sands and Varland up in the pen. The 1-2 to Herrera. They missed way upstairs. Vasquez had to stand up and reach for that one. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch to Herrera. Right in there, and it's a swing and a ground ball up the middle. Slow roller. Arenado is easily able to round third and score, and the Cardinals take a 2-1 lead here in the second game of the year. 2-1 Cardinals. Herrera delivers. Donovan's been excellent. Nootbaar's been fantastic. And Arenado has been the best of anybody. And he scores once again. Just a rocket off the bat of Ivan Herrera. Right back up the middle, right in the gap where he needed it. First and second now for Jordan Walker. As a timeout is called by the manager of Minnesota, and they are going to pull Alcala, it looks like, after that rocket hit him earlier. And the call is for Varland, who will be entering the game for the Twins. With 2 on, nobody out, facing Jordan Walker. Let's take another look at what Varland did last year. As I check for chat messages, nothing on YouTube. Nothing new on Twitch. So Varland for the Twins last season. I'll be able to get the Did Varland play for the Twins last season? Yes, he did. There he is. Played 16 games. Let's see. There it is. Oh, he was not very good last season. He had a 7.61 ERA. 42 earned runs in 49 innings, so they're still trying to trot him out there. He's only 27. Negative 1.4 WAR last year. Charlie Morton. Yep. Morton was the starter for the Twins for a couple seasons, I thought, but he was also on the Braves for a very long time and the Astros for their championship. But I will check in and put that answer in. So you throw Morton in here, and he did not start for the Twins at any time. So it was probably the Braves you're thinking of. All right, let's get back. We are back. Varland has warmed up. As I said, he was not good last year. He had a 1.69 whip, 7.61 ERA, 8.8 strikeouts per 9, so that's pretty solid. 12 home runs allowed. As here comes Jordan Walker. I'm going to take these pitches with a little bit of a fast forward between them. So here's the first pitch to Walker. Foul ball out of play, 0-1. Skip 10 seconds. Here's the second pitch to Walker. Swung on and missed. A slider outside, 0-2. So hopefully Walker can lock back in here. The 0-2 to Walker. Timeout Walker. Still 0-2. And now we are live for this most updated pitch here. The 0-2. Low and outside. Still 0-2. Or sorry, 1-2. Low and outside means it's 1-2. Walker is 1 for 1 today with a 500 average on the season. So he's hitting well. Herrera's hitting well. Arenado, Donovan, and Nootbaar all hitting very, very well so far. The 1-2 to Walker. Up in the zone. Popped up. Is it going to get out of play? It will. Just barely. Still 1-2. Walker had a nice opposite field single earlier today before getting picked off at first base. Scott is on deck with Wynn behind him. Scott got his first hit of the season last at bat. Burleson takes a nice lead off of second. Pitcher checks on him before throwing and missing. Low and outside. 2-2 to Walker. Over in Toronto, the Blue Jays just took a 2-run lead over the Orioles. That game is 4-2. The Brewers just scored a run, but that cuts their deficit down to 13, so they will still be losing that ball game. The 2-2 to Walker is low. And it is a full count on Walker with runners on first and second. Over in Chicago, the White Sox are playing in a 0-0 game against the Angels in the 8th inning. So there have been no runs through 7 in that game. Full count to Walker is low. They walk him. Walker has reached base through the means of a walk for the second time today. 1 a base on balls, 1 a hit by pitch. Living up to his name as intended. And here comes Victor Scott with the bases loaded and nobody out. Burleson on third, Walker on first, and Herrera on second. Victor Scott digs in. Here is the first pitch to Victor Scott, and it is fouled back. Bases loaded opportunity for the Cardinals. Chance to blow the game open for Victor Scott and truly bring that spring training momentum with him to the plate this year. He has 1 stolen base, which is more than anyone on the Cardinals. So that's fantastic. Unless they gave Nootbaar a stolen base for that balk last game, but I don't think they did. Here's the 0-1. Fouled away, 0-2. All right. Varland trying to improve his numbers from last season. Here's the 0-2 to Victor Scott. Low and bounces, but Vasquez is able to stop it. 1-2. Big opportunity for the Cardinals to really blow this game open here. It is 2-1 here in the 6th. Nobody out. Bases loaded. Victor Scott at the plate. Top of the order looming after Wynn, who is on deck. Scott takes a little check swing to stay alive on a fastball. Fouled it off, 1-2 still. Scott locks in. Here's the 1-2. Another foul ball. Just making Varland work right now. Marmol loves it. Descalzo loves it. Watching from the Cardinals bench. All right. A hanging knuckle curve, but Scott is able to foul that away as well. Just making them work. This is incredible stuff. If you have this at the bottom of your order, it'll wear down whoever is pitching for the top of your order. And you can also steal bases and play fantastic defense in center field. You really love what Victor Scott is doing, but he chases a changeup for strike 3. And there's now 1 away here with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. So a missed chance for Scott, but he's 1 for 3 on the day with a stolen base. And here comes Mason Wynn. You really hope to see his first hit of the year. Him and Contreras are the 2 Cardinals who have not yet reached base. So you hope to see that change right now. Here's the pitch. Inside. Drive Mason Wynn a little bit back there. A little further off the plate. 1-0 on Wynn. Nowhere to put him here in the bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded. 1-0 on Wynn. 1 out. Here's the 1-0. Up in the zone. He swings right under it. 1-1. Bases loaded, 1-1 on Mason Wynn. If he can deliver, this game will be tough to come back in for the Twins. Here's the 1-1. Ooh, fastball right in there, and he took it for strike 2 there, 1-2. Still no hits for Wynn. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. Varland gets set, and he delivers the 1-2 to win. Swing and a miss. Outside fastball there, and Wynn chased it about belt high. And here comes Lars Nootbaar, one of the better players for the Cardinals so far this season. Him and Arenado, along with Victor Scott in center, have been standout guys. And don't forget about Jordan Walker. But here we go. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Nootbaar. The first pitch, fly ball foul. Swung a little bit late there. Bases loaded in his career. He has no grand slams, but he's hitting .381 in this situation. So that's a great sign. Big opportunity for Nootbaar. Here's the 0-1. Crushed to center field, and it's a base hit. 1 run scores. Buxton delivers the ball, and Walker retreats as the Cardinals score 2 runs. Nootbaar delivers again. Huge for Lars Nootbaar. First and second, 4-1 Cardinals. It's Nootbaar and it's Arenado so far this season, and they just threw a fastball right down the middle, gave in to Nootbaar, 99. He put it right where he needed to. The 2-run score easily. Herrera and Burleson, and Nootbaar points at the dugout as if to say, I got you. 4-1 Cardinals. And what better time than right now for Wilson Contreras to get his first hit. Runners on first and second, coming off the momentum of that hit. The 0-1 to Contreras from Varland. Swing and a miss, sinker low. Sunk right below the barrel there. 0-2 on Contreras, who is still 0 for 3. He's 0 for 7 on the season with no bases earned. And he chases another slider. Now 0 for 8. Still hasn't reached base, but the Cardinals have, and it is 4-1 because of a Nootbaar 2-run single. After 6, the Cardinals lead 4-1. So this game started off with a 1-run first inning for the Cardinals, then a 1-run second inning for the Twins off of that error, and finally a 3-run 6th inning. And it looks like Fedde has thrown 73 pitches, so he could go out there for the 7th to face Buxton, Larnach, and France. You dare say Newt again, Zach. He is doing it, man. So far, I mean, he's the MVP. I'm just saying. So, him and Nolan Arenado, if they can keep this up, this is a terrifying team. But I will say the starts that you feel the most confident in this team are easily going to be the Gray and Fedde starts. It's those other 3 in the bullpen. Not the bullpen. The other 3 in the rotation that worry you a little bit more there. But doesn't make the team any less exciting. They've got the hitters, man. The Angels were able to score in Chicago. So that game is 1-0 Angels, in case anyone is interested. The Yankees still have 2 guys on against the Brewers in the 8th. So I wonder if position players are pitching by now. Looks like Fedde might be done after 73 pitches. That's okay for the first game of the season. As the season goes on, you expect him to probably go a little bit further in these games, but 6 innings, 1 run. They say it's an earned run. No walks, 2 strikeouts. I did not know that was an earned run. But I guess because it's a double, that error didn't matter as much. Arenado scoops up a hard ground ball from Buxton and makes an incredible play. There's that Gold Glove defense, and there's 1 away here in the 7th. Fernandez has come into the game for the Cardinals. He was very good last season, and he looks to be very good again this season. 3.51 ERA with a 1.35 whip last year. Anything sub 4 is a solid pitcher in this new era. And he had a 9.6 strikeouts per 9, so no problem there. Here's the first pitch to Larnach. Inside, just barely did not catch him. And it is 1-0. Over in Toronto, the Blue Jays gave up a few runs to the Orioles. Here's the 1-0 to Larnach. Foul ball. So the Cardinals still lead 4-1 in this one. 6-4 Orioles in the 4th inning in Toronto. And the Phillies game has just kicked off in Washington. There's a swing and a miss on a cutter from Larnach. It is now 1-2. Fernandez is a guy that you love to see on the mound. Just a very solid bullpen piece. A little bit of an underrated guy, because everybody has been saying, I mean, this game is just the game of underrated players, because everybody's been saying that our rotation has like 1 elite player and then questionable players. But Fernandez is a very, very solid 2, and I think Fedde is a very, very solid starting pitcher too, if they can replicate what they did last year. And when you have that, that's when you can start rattling off wins. So, good start to the season so far, without a doubt. Full count now to Larnach. He missed low on that pitch. Fernandez having a little discussion with the ump. I assume that pitch hit the catcher, so the ump walked it out to Fernandez. And here we go, 3-2. The ump actually had the courtesy of cleaning the plate there as well, just to make sure everybody was ready. Fernandez steps back up to the mound. Larnach digs in, and here we are. The full count pitch to Larnach. Fly ball to left field. Nootbaar is there, and he makes the catch for the 2nd out. 2 away here in the 7th. The bullpen last game went 4 innings, gave up 1 run with 1 walk and 5 strikeouts, 4 hits allowed. So, not a perfect game for the bullpen, but a pretty good bullpen game yesterday. And here comes Fernandez. High fastball for a strike. Ty France fouled it off the backstop. Ty France is at the plate, by the way. He is hitting 167, so that is 1 for 6 so far this year. And here he is. High fly ball to right field. Walker drifts back to the warning track and makes the play. And the Cardinals are through 7 on a 10-pitch inning from Fernandez. 1, 2, 3 go the Twins, and Donovan, Arenado, Burleson are due up in the 7th. The Brewers were able to score a couple runs in the 8th inning, I believe, against the Yankees. Maybe the 9th. It is now the top of the 9th as the Yankees are closing that game out, 20-9. So, probably no records will be shattered in that game. But 20 runs in this era is very impressive and notable. And seeing Milwaukee put up 9 runs and lose is satisfying as a Cardinals fan, if we're all being honest. So, That's excellent news for the Cardinals here early on. Some games getting underway across the league. You have Cleveland at Kansas City, San Francisco at Cincinnati, Colorado at Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh at Miami. So Skeens and Alcantara have already pitched, so nothing too interesting going on in Miami. I would love an update on the McClanahan injury at some point. We have Baltimore still leading 6-4 in Toronto. And the White Sox have a runner in scoring position down by 1 in the 8th in Chicago. All right, Donovan is walking to the plate. That means the game is back. So here we go. Danny Coulombe is coming in. He had a 2.12 ERA last season with a .67 ERA. A .67 whip, 2.12 ERA, above 9 strikeouts per 9. So a very good year last year for Coulombe. He is a lefty facing the lefty Brendan Donovan. Got a sinker in there for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Donovan. Ooh, got him to chase a cutter. Very, very good pitch. You can see why he was so successful last season. And here's the 0-2 to Donovan. Fouled away. Still 0-2. On deck is Arenado, who has been excellent today. 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. .571 average so far this year. There's a hanger to Donovan, but he drove it out to Buxton, who made the play. That was a rare bad pitch from Coulombe, but Donovan was unable to make him pay. He did hit the ball hard, but just too close to Buxton. A little bit too much arc on the ball. So up steps Nolan Arenado. Lefty versus righty here. Arenado and Goldie have been good at this for a long time. Obviously, Goldie left to the Yankees and homered for them today. Coulombe missed high with the first sweeper. And Arenado stretches out and digs back in. Here's the 1-0 to Arenado. High on a sinker. Called strike 2. Called strike 1. 1-1. Top of the zone. It looked to be high, but Arenado's not going to complain on a day like this. And here's the 1-1. Same pitch. That one did fall back in the zone on a sweeper, and Arenado knew it and is mad at himself for not swinging. So it's now 1-2. Coulombe is set and delivers. A little bit outside there. Vasquez had a very good frame, but the ump was able to lay off calling that strike 3, and it is 2-2 on Arenado. The pitch is high. Full count on Arenado now. He is 4 for 7 this season. So is Nootbaar. They're kind of going toe for toe, driving this team forward so far. Last season with a full count, you can see the numbers. Arenado he hit .308 with 2 homers, and the MLB average was 191, so that's incredible. And there's ball 4, so he's still doing very well in that situation. He knows what to look for there, and he reaches first base once again. So Just incredible baseball from Arenado so far. As Burleson steps up to the plate. Burleson was able to walk and score a run earlier today. And he hits a fly ball. Pretty easy on the infield for Miranda, who makes the play. 2 away for Ivan Herrera. Coulomb pitching to Herrera with a runner on first and 2 outs. And here's the pitch. Inside to Herrera, 1-0. Herrera is 3 for 6 on the season, 1 for 3 today. Had a very important single. And he pulls one down the line fair. It gets past the third baseman, and Arenado will jog and stop at third base. So it is a double. No runs scored there. Second and third for the Cardinals. Herrera is still hitting very, very well. That'll be the second double of the game for the Cardinals. Arenado delivered the first. So that ground ball got past Miranda, and what I meant to say is it snuck into the corner by the wall. So I figured Arenado would be able to score, but he's not a very speedy guy anymore, so no worries. He had to stop at third, and here comes Walker with a big opportunity to blow this game open. Sweeper low, ball 1. It is 4-1 St. Louis, still here in the bottom of the 7th, with second and third in a big chance here for Jordan Walker. Sweeper right down the middle, but he missed it, popped it foul, and it is 1-1. The Yankees finally closed out their game, 20-9, as this pitch is delivered to Walker. He pulls it out to left field. It's a makeable play here, and Wallner does that. Not Waller. Larnach does that. And the Cardinals strand 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. As we enter the 8th inning, and it'll be Gasper, Castro, and Miranda due up for the Twins. One fascinating thing about the DH slot is a lot of teams use it as like a flexible position, and that's what the Cardinals have been doing in recent years. But because Contreras went away, a guy like Burleson can play consistent DH now, which I really like because he's not really an elite outfielder. And Walker really isn't all that fast either, but he can get around, and Burleson, there wasn't really a fit for him in this outfield. And so now he gets to just focus on hitting. Obviously, it hasn't worked out perfectly well so far this season, so maybe getting him out there in the outfield will help him lock in. But as he gets used to it, it'll be very, very beneficial for the Cardinals to have his bat in the lineup. I really like Burleson's swing, and I hope he can figure it out as this season continues. You wonder who the Cardinals are going to here in the 8th. I would think probably JoJo Romero. We haven't seen him yet this season, I don't think, and he's been a solid setup man when you've already used Fernandez, but you could stick with Fernandez because he only threw 10 pitches last inning. All right, we are back. Newt Bar 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Fetty threw 6 innings for 2 hits, 1 earned run. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Joe Ryan pitched a solid game for the Twins. But the Cardinals have gained a 3-run lead, and Gasper hits a ground ball against JoJo Romero. Wynn tries to make the play, but he's too late, and Gasper reaches on an infield single, despite a very, very good effort from Mason Wynn. So JoJo Romero gives up a base runner here on a pulled a pretty hard pulled ground ball into the gap there. But it wasn't hit hard enough for Mason Wynn to get the ball to first base. All right, Castro's up. Strike 1 on Castro. I tend to forget that he's a switch hitter. Hitting from the right side against JoJo right now. So, runner on first. Castro is 1 for 2. Missed outside with a changeup, 1-1. Romero delivers. It's a fly ball. Out of play to right field. 1-2. Romero really just looking to get the hitters out that are at the plate. You don't really need to worry about the runner. You have Helsley for the 9th inning. The 1 run probably won't make a huge difference, but let's see what Romero can do. High fastball, 2-2. So Gasper on first. Castro at the plate. The 2-2 from Romero is low, full count. Romero gets set. The 3-2. Driven into right field. It's back deep, but looks like Victor Scott is able to make the play, which means that Ciani substituted in at center field, probably. Victor Scott got moved to right, and Walker's day is over. Just to double check, that is the case. Ciani did enter the game for Jordan Walker. And Scott moved to right, which I like because that was not an easy play in right field, and Victor Scott made it look easy. 1 out, 1 on for Miranda. Ball 1. The 1-0 from Romero is a strike. 1-1. Over in Toronto, Baltimore scored 2 more. It is now 8-4 Baltimore in the 5th. The Angels-White Sox game is in the bottom of the 9th. 1-0 Angels. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball. Wynn makes the play to second and is able to get Gasper. So there are now 2 outs with a runner on first. Jose Miranda is now on first base. And Christian Vasquez will step to the plate. Very smart play from Mason Wynn. Knew he had enough time to get Gasper. So he took the force out on the lead runner there. And held Miranda at first base. So Vasquez takes strike 1 on the outside corner. He knows that that's been being called all day, even though it was a little outside, so he did not complain. Wide zone for this ump as Romero gets set to deliver the 0-1. It is low on a slider. 1-1. Ooh, Vasquez crushes one deep to left field, and it is foul. Unfortunate for the Twins. That was a pitch he could hit. Just barely out in front. It was right on the line. Snuck up into the seats. So now it is 1-2 on Vasquez. Pittsburgh took a 1-0 lead in Miami. And the White Sox are down to their last out. The 1-2 is a fly ball to center field. Very, very easy play for Ciani, who just entered the game, and he makes it. So there's 3 outs. Mid-8th, Cardinals still lead 4-1 as Victor Scott, Mason Wynn, and Lars Nootbaar are due up next inning. I'm going to take a quick look at this chat once again, see if I can get it working. All right, let's see. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it's still not setting itself up there. That's okay. Contreras is stepping up to the plate. Well, is he? Never mind, that was just a replay. Victor Scott is stepping up to the plate. Here in the bottom of the 8th, 4-1 Cardinals as Yohan Duran returns to the mound. He threw 101 and missed 1-0. Here's the 1-0 to Scott. Low and in, swing and a miss, 1-1. Very nice splitter. Here's Scott on another splitter outside, 2-1. The 2-1 to Victor Scott is a bunt attempt. It goes right out in front of the pitcher, who has to deliver a ball to first base, and he got him. An incredibly fast throw. Duran was picking up the ball while Scott was 2 steps from first, and I truly believe he did get him. One of the best throws I've seen. He delivered a fastball, but they're going to review it. And he was safe, so that it's not possible to throw a ball fast enough to get Scott on that bunt, and it is a bunt single for Victor Scott. No doubt about it. Incredible decision. They were playing a little too deep, and Duran was unable to get over there and throw it hard enough. Although, with a stretch from the first baseman there, maybe they would have been able to get him. Really, really good throw. But not enough. Victor Scott will reach. And the umps confirm it. He is safe. So good job by the Cardinals getting that to be reviewed. And Scott reaches first base. Nobody out. Bottom of the 8th, 4-1 Cardinals. There's a strike as Scott tries to steal second again, and he does. So that's a second stolen base of the game for Victor Scott. 2 singles, 2 stolen bases for him. Mason Wynn is up, still looking for his first hit of the year. But he has a runner on second and nobody out. So any sort of ball in play here is good progress for the team. Scott really taking advantage of his speed to go along with an improved bat for this season so far. He's gotten his average up to 250. Obviously, that's only 2 for 8, but it's a good start. So here's Mason Wynn. And he looks to bunt as Duran misses outside 1-1. I don't love seeing this, but it is a good way to get an insurance run up when Mason Wynn has not yet reached base this season. I'd love to see him swing the bat, though. So let's see if maybe they pitch to contact. They don't. He misses the bunt. It is now 1-2. Really don't like to see that. If you're going to bunt, you hope it's successful, because now you have 2 strikes on Mason Wynn, and he's good at hitting like that, but I just want to see him swing the bat, because he had it going last year. He was above average, and you shouldn't need a bunt to get going. But here we go. 1-2 to win. High. Knuckle curve just above the zone. 2-2. The 2-2 to win. Victor Scott takes a big lead. The pitch inside, fouled back. Still 2-2. Mason Wynn is that last, well, him and Contreras are those last 2 pieces where if they can get going, then the whole lineup starts to really, really flow. But any sort of ball in play is a good at-bat here. Here's the 2-2 to win. It's a foul ball back off the backstop. It was 101 miles an hour, and Mason Wynn is casually fouling it off. Locking in, trying to get himself a better pitch to hit. Here's the 2-2 from Yohan Duran. A knuckle curve outside, 3-2. So the count is full on Mason Wynn. A walk would be great. It would be his first time reaching base this season. And it would bring up Lars Nootbaar. So he looms on deck. One of the best hitters in the league so far. Here in the second game. So here comes Mason Wynn on the full count. 2 high. Ball 4. And Nootbaar will step up to the plate with 2 on and nobody out against Duran. Nootbaar's hit nothing but rockets so far today. And he's got all the power generated by 101 miles an hour delivered to him right now. 97 on a splitter. 2 low, 1-0. Nootbaar looking at the 1-0 from Duran. 2 low, another splitter, another ball. 2-0. So, With Contreras on deck, Nootbaar's probably going to get a pitch to hit as Vasquez walks out to take a timeout and talk to Duran. Correa has some words for Duran here as well. I would bet he's just trying to tell him to calm down and put it in the zone because he can't give away any extra runs here. The defense has his back. Something like that. And Nootbaar is up for the 2-0. It is in there for strike one. A really sneaky fastball, 100 miles an hour. Finding the inside part of the zone. It's now 2-1. Here's the pitch to Nootbaar. Ooh, it was a splitter, and Nootbaar swung just over it and fouled it back off the catcher. 2-2. The 2-2 to Nootbaar in the bottom of the 8th. Runners on first and second. Is inside. Full count. Nobody out. First and second for the Cardinals. You could put Nootbaar on, but if you miss, it's going to be Contreras, Donovan, Arenado with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. So you really don't want to do that if you're the Twins. And here's Duran's pitch. It is low. Ball 4. Nootbaar reaches base again. Incredible job by Nootbaar. Seeing the pitches, fouling off what he needed to. And now Contreras will come up looking for his first time reaching base this season. Of all the starters, he's the only one who has not reached base. And the pitching coach is out to talk to Duran, with Topa warming up in the bullpen, but he doesn't look ready to come in. So it looks like they're going to leave Duran in all likelihood, and let Contreras have a go at him. Contreras steps up to the plate here. He's 0 for 4 today and 0 for on the season so far, but here's a big opportunity to reach base for the first time. Duran misses low again with a splitter. Bases loaded, nobody out, 1-0 to Contreras. Big chance for Contreras to put this game away for the Cardinals and save Helsley from any stress here in the 9th inning. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Contreras swings over a splitter. And he calls timeout. 1-1. Steps right back in. Looks at Duran, and we are ready to go. The 1-1 with the bases loaded and nobody out to Contreras. Chases a splitter outside. I don't know why he's reaching. That was going to be outside regardless, and he swung. So it's now 1-2 on Contreras. I wonder if the calls earlier outside the zone that were close like that drove him to swing there, because that didn't seem to be a wise decision. Just got to get his head right. He is 0 for 4. Here's the 1-2 with the bases loaded. Fouled it off his own foot. Takes a quick hop. Seems like he's doing all right. He is a catcher after all. Probably used to it. Well, he's not a catcher anymore. Now he's a first baseman, but he's dealt with those foul balls for his whole career. So nothing new for Contreras. And here's the 1-2 with nobody out. Bases loaded. Duran to Contreras. It is a knuckle curve, pulled foul, just to the left of the third base bag, a slow grounder. So now it is still 1-2 on Contreras, who straightens up his helmet and his shoulder pad, not shoulder pad, his elbow pad, and steps back in, looking in at the 1-2 pitch from Duran. Bases loaded, nobody out. Wilson Contreras looking for his first hit. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Chases a knuckle curve. Duran got him with some really good movement there. And Contreras still has not reached base this season. I wouldn't consider this a story until we're 3 games in. Like a full series without reaching base, that's a story. 2 games, it's just unlucky. Contreras just needs to find it. Once he reaches base once, I'm sure he'll be right back to the hitter he was. Donovan will come up with 1 out in the bases loaded after a pitching change from the Twins. 4-1 Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th. Uh-oh. All right, let's see. I've figured out how the chat works, so I'll be able to fix that for next stream. So that is something I've truly figured out now, so that's exciting. But all right, let's lock back in. Coming in to pitch is Justin Topa for the Twins, so last season he only threw for 3 games for a 0 ERA, a 0.43 whip, which is obviously incredible, but it was only 2 1/3 innings, so we don't really know what we're going to see from Topa. But he will be facing Brendan Donovan, who has been very, very solid so far this year, hitting .375, 1 for 4 today. Bases loaded for Donovan. One of the best hitters in this situation, because all you need is just a ball in play, and he's really, really good at not striking out. Cutter was able to find the zone, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Donovan. It is outside, 1-1. Donovan steps back in. Topa delivers. Foul ball pulled to the right of the first base bag. It is now 1-2. Okay, so Donovan is only hitting .182 on his career with the bases loaded. Surprises me a little bit. But I'm sure he has plenty of RBIs. 22 of those. Here's Donovan. Takes a pitch outside, a changeup. Almost got him to swing, but he was able to check. And it is now 2-2. Topa has some pretty good stuff, so I understand why he made the roster once again. Here's the 2-2 to Donovan. Fly ball. Deep center field. Buxton's able to make the play, but a run will score for the Cardinals. A good solid at-bat by Donovan. 5 pitches, drives in the run, and Nootbaar's able to tag for second as well. So, it's 5-1 Cardinals. Runners on second and third. with 2 outs. So great job by Nootbaar doing his job. 5-1 Cardinals. Just a good piece of hitting, making sure he delivers. Fundamental baseball is his game, and he always lives up to it. So here comes Arenado. I would consider intentionally walking Arenado if I were the Twins here, given how locked in he's been so far. And they throw strike 1 to him, so they are not thinking like that. Topa's in the game, 2nd and 3rd for Arenado. 2 away. He is 2 for 3 on the game. The pitch, strike, sweeper. Great job by Topa. Just barely sneaking that over. And Arenado is down in the count 0-2 with runners in 2nd and 3rd. 2 runners in scoring position here. The 3rd pitch, tried to get him, and I think he went. He did, and that is strike 3. So Arenado, unfortunately, was unable to hold back, but the Cardinals do score a run on a sac fly from Brendan Donovan, and they lead 5-1, headed to the 9th. So you expect to probably see Helsley, but it is a back-to-back game situation, and it is not a save situation. But it would have been if we had not scored this inning. So I wonder if he was warming up already. If he wasn't, we could see someone else. Due up for the Twins is the top of the order, though. It is Wallner, Correa, Buxton. So to be safe, I would not mind seeing Helsley today. This is a game the Cardinals really should be able to lock up. All right, the Cardinals have gone with Phil Maton to close out this game. They have a 4-run lead, so ideally he can just lock in and get these 3 outs without any trouble. He was about league average last season. He did not accumulate any WAR, but looks like his pitch comm is not working, so he's going to toss it to the side, and it looks like he's just going to receive signs in the old-fashioned way. Throws a cutter right down the middle for strike 1. Let's see, are there signs? Maybe they're not showing them. No, there's a new pitch comm. Okay. There's a fly ball out to left. Nootbaar comes in, but Wynn is out there to make the catch. A great running play by Mason Wynn. Nootbaar was called off there. He might not have been able to get to it because it was shorter. It was more shallow than expected. Mason Wynn had a nice angle on it. Was able to go out there and make the play. Correa steps to the plate. Wallner still has no hits on the season. Correa and Buxton both have not reached base. Strike one on Correa, bottom of the zone. Swing and a fly ball out to left field. That's hit pretty hard. Correa, it is caught at the wall by Michael Ciani. So he still has not reached base. Correa must feel pretty robbed right there. Ciani made a great running grab. That is what you like to see in center field. Center field defense, we missed it a couple seasons ago. We got it back with Ciani last year, and he does it again so far this year, along with Victor Scott out there. Correa can't believe it, looks up to the sky, and the Cardinals are 1 out away from another victory. And Buxton takes strike one. Crowd on their feet for Maton. The 0-1 to Buxton. Swing and a miss on a curveball, swung right over it. 2 groundouts today and a strikeout. He's 0 for 7 on the year. And he's down 0-2 in this at-bat. Only 3 hits for the Twins so far in this game. And the final pitch from Maton. He delivers, and it's a swing and a miss from Buxton, and the Cardinals will win this game 5-1. Another absolutely beautiful victory for the Cardinals. Beautifully pitched, 5 runs on the board. The hype for the Cardinals is back. Nootbaar's been incredible, along with the defense and Arenado. Contreras is the only guy we really want to see take a step forward. But there's really not that much to look for here. This is a great 2-game set so far for the Cardinals, and they look to complete a sweep tomorrow against Minnesota. I will see you then.